Howdy, folks. I'm Valentinia, the victorious Valkyrie,
I'm Amber.
and here's some special Valentine's Reddit.
Ha-
I wouldn't quite say that.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Yes, folks. Yes, the nightmare. We thought it was over yesterday. The nightmare continues. He went ahead and he posted on r/relationship advice. I'm not going to read that post to you because that post does not have any new information in it. So this was posted last year. It helped reveal some additional information. OP's daughter is featured in this post, but we also have to read through another terrible post to get there. So let's get started. Am I the jerk for bringing my girlfriend on a date to my daughter's workplace? I'm a 51-year-old male and I've been dating my girlfriend Millie for just over 6 months. My wife died 4 years ago and this is my longest relationship since. However, my daughter, Bianca, a 21-year-old female, disapproves. She has a lot of issues with me and Millie, but the main ones are the way we met through a website and that I moved Millie into our house fairly quickly after 3 months. In my defense, losing my wife much earlier than I had ever imagined really taught me to seize and enjoy each moment. And it just felt right to both of us to have Millie there with me permanently. 2 months ago, Bianca and Millie got into a dispute over our spare room, which Bianca uses as a music space. Then it's not such a spare room, is it? But Millie wanted to convert it into a shooting space for social media, which is her job. I took Millie's side since she's going to be here longer term, so Bianca sped up her plans to move out to next week and asked that I warn her if Millie is going to be present at any event or visit. Anyways, last week I thought it would be nice to treat Millie for her birthday, and she asked for a shopping trip and a dinner out, which I was happy to do. The issue is that she specifically asked to go to a restaurant where Bianca works as a waitress, since it's known as one of the most exclusive and classy places in our town. I knew Bianca was working that day, but I figured it would be alright since it's a large restaurant and a special occasion. When we arrived, we were given another server, so I thought everything was okay. Well, about 15 minutes later, Bianca walked out from the kitchen and immediately saw us sitting there. Then walked straight back without even saying hi. She kept passing the table and silently glaring daggers at Millie, which was just unnecessary. When Millie tried to be polite, Millie then asked Bianca for a bill because she was the nearest waitress, and Bianca slapped it down on the table wordlessly and then sent another waitress to see us out. Later, I called her and asked why she had behaved like a child. Bianca said that it was me and Millie who have been deliberately flirting to upset her, which is untrue. The most that happened was a couple of kisses and a bit of footsies and some giggling. No, not at all. Not flirting at all. Bianca also claims that when I briefly left to use the toilet, Millie called her over and told her to not contact me for the next few days as we would be too busy engaging in private activities.
Oh.
Just what I'm sure the daughter wanted to hear. I find it hard to believe Bianca because Millie has made an effort to bond with her through organizing girly activities, among other things, while Bianca has a history of manipulating others to get her way. Bianca then told me that she wants no contact with me or Millie apart from family gatherings. My family is split over the issue, and my ex-wife's sister called to cuss me out for neglecting Bianca, who is still grieving about her mother. Am I the jerk? I understand that Bianca and Millie have their issues and Bianca misses her mother, but Bianca was at work and I think that she should have been more professional. Alright folks, let's read Bianca's side here. And Bianca says, Hi everyone, this is Bianca talking after I saw the Twitter thread made with my dad's post and my roommate encouraged me to make an account to at least try to defend myself. I hope that at least some of you hear me out, and thank you to the very kind Twitter peoples who are looking out for me. I appreciate it, guys, and I'm fine. What my dad says has grains of truth, but is so far from the full story, it's basically BS. My mom did die when I was 17, and me and dad were actually very close. He started dating again a couple of years ago after she died, and I was always very supportive until Millie came along. Regardless of what dad says, me and Millie had an emotional relationship lasting several months, which ended in a massive bust up and us losing contact, and he was aware of this when I told him that I recognized her. He brushed it aside and told me that I would get used to it and we would be introduced gradually. I was stupid and believed this nonsense. He moved her into the house without asking me while I was visiting mom's family for the week. She did not try to bond with me. She used our shopping days as trips as an excuse to get money off of dad for herself. She cried and begged until dad got rid of my music room, and then he fell for it. I asked them not to be intimate when I was around because it was uncomfortable, and they ignored me. Millie and Dad have since tried to contact me regularly and have shown up in unexpected places. They show up at my church, they have apparently visited my work and asked my friends if I'm there. They have even tried messaging me to ask when I am visiting Mom's grave and they want to join. They are despicable people who deserve to be cut off. I would love to hear Dad's explanation of why I'm manipulative. Until then, thank you so very much to everyone for looking out for me again. And just don't believe any of the nonsense in this thread, other than the nonsense about liking young women. That's probably true. However, I've gotten more than a few messages telling me that my dad has been encouraging people to message him about this post to look into the sugar baby lifestyle or to become a sugar baby. Please, guys, don't message him, and if you do, don't listen to his kind of nonsense. Stay safe out there. All right, folks, what do you think?
Oh my goodness. OP is just not being a very good person in these posts.
No.
Not treating his daughter with any care or compassion whatsoever.
Well, then lying and being manipulative about it
Mm-hmm.
and claiming that she's being the lying, manipulative one.
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine where the manipulation comes from is from Millie. I imagine she's telling their dad that, oh, she's being manipulative over me. And it's just terrible because he's literally dating the daughter's ex.
Mm-hmm.
This was an actual long-term relationship that carried out for months, and they had a huge, massive blow-up. Why would he think that this was a good idea?
Mm-hmm. Well, he cares about his satisfying his own needs more than he cares about his child, which is despicable.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's really the sum of all the pieces right there.
Like, I'm sure there were plenty more people on this dating website who his daughter hadn't been dating.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly. There had to have been more than just the one person. It couldn't have been just the single. It couldn't just have been Millie. It was the forbidden fruit, and he thought, "Oh, I want that."
Yeah.
Anyhow, Opie's daughter. Take care and good luck.
Yes, much luck to Opie's daughter.
All right, folks. Our next letter is titled, "Am I a jerk for refusing to lie to my boyfriend's friends and family about my job? I'm a party princess, which means I dress up as fictional princesses and women and have a catalog of people that people can pick from when they book me on what character they want. It's a job and I love it and I make really good money. And over the pandemic, I began to do Zoom calls also, which was more one-on-one type of things that lasted 40 minutes or so. I've been doing this for 2 years, and it's a job I intend to continue for as long as I can, as it's very fulfilling to me. My boyfriend of 7 months is rather embarrassed by this job, however, and he doesn't want me to be open to his family and friends about the job, and he feels it will make me look childish or like I lack prospects, which is quite irritating as I make more money than him with this job, but I would never throw that up in an argument with him. Instead, I asked him why it mattered, if they thought that it was childish, and he asked me to just do this for him and say that I work somewhere normal. I don't like lying, and it's upsetting to me that he wants me to do this. But he told me that it's not like I can do this job forever, which I do know, but while I do it, I don't see why I should be ashamed. Should I just keep the peace and tell a little fib? Alright, folks. Should she keep the peace and tell a fib or not?
I don't think so. There is nothing wrong with being a party princess. Like, that is such a cool job. And I guarantee most people would probably think that's really cool. And anyone who doesn't is just not cool enough for OPs.
That's actually what my job is. My day job is as a party princess.
No, it's really not. He's behind a computer all day, but he's not dressed as a princess.
OP, if your boyfriend is this embarrassed by your job, then maybe you need to consider finding a new boyfriend.
That was gonna be my advice too. You know, it's a 7-month relationship, which is some time, but like it's better to get out now than, you know, when she's deeper into it.
Well, where's it gonna stop? What other things are going to be too childish for him? Are her hobbies going to be too childish? What other activities that she does? And it's going to just reach ahead at a certain point in time where he continues to pile on more and more things that are just too childish. Why are you wearing those colorful socks? They're just a little childish. You're going to make my family think that you're a kid.
Well, and on top of that, like, expecting her to lie, like, what happens when someone they know books her as a party princess? Like, it just seems like what he's asking of her is like could spiral out of control, and then it's going to look like she's a manipulative liar instead of, you know.
And that's just it, is OP, don't lie for this guy. He can get over his feelings or he can move on. So that's my thoughts. Anyhow, take care and be a princess all you want.
Yes.
And then become a party queen.
Yes.
You don't have to. You can graduate into a party queen. You don't have to stop doing the job. All right, folks. Our next letter that doesn't involve party princesses is titled, Am I a Jerk for Taking in My Ex-Boyfriend's Niece? Now, ex-boyfriend and I broke up over this. Christian, my ex, was a 26-year-old male and I'm a 25-year-old female. And we dated for about 2 years. During this time, we didn't have any huge issues. We fought. We talked things out. I thought that we both were on the same page about religion. He said that he was not super religious, though he does attend church. He never forced me to go, but I would attend for holidays with his family. I met his niece, a 19-year-old female, Mercy, several times. She is awesome. She sings, she plays several instruments, she makes music videos with her friends. She talked about wanting to go to college to study music theory, not sure of the official title of the program. Her parents encouraged her to be a teacher and said that she should sing at church. I found that the family had no intention of letting her go to a secular college because they think that girls should get married. There was a huge argument when Marcy was accepted to the secular university on almost a full ride. They wanted her to go to a Christian university like Bob Jones University. She ended up moving in with her boyfriend and took all of her stuff with her. Her boyfriend ended up not being able to house her for very long, and she begged me to let her house her instruments at my house. I agreed. She said that she had plans to couch surf until college started, and then hopefully she would get aid to pay for a dorm. I live about an hour away from the university she wants to attend. I said that she should stay with me. It might be a bit of a drive, but I could cover the cost of her food and shelter. I thought Christian would be overjoyed, but it led to him screaming at me about turning her away from God. This was to make her understand that she was wrong. I broke up with him and I still have Mercy living with me. She has been here for about 3 months. She has been a stellar roommate for the most part. We have had discussions about having guests over late since I work from home, but we have a plan in place for her to save money to eventually move out. But she is free to stay until graduation unless something terrible happens. I don't see that being an issue though. Am I the jerk? Alright folks, is OP the jerk for taking in a person who is in need?
No, I don't think OP's a jerk here. The family is being very short-sighted and not letting her pursue her dreams because of their narrow idea of what womanhood is.
They need to get a grip. Let her be her own person. Let her do her own things. If you have to coerce and manipulate someone into your belief set, then maybe you should rethink your belief set. She is more than capable of making her own decisions, and she's an adult, and she's allowed to make her own choices, her own decisions, and her own mistakes.
Yes.
And that's the reality of it. You can prepare a kid for life. You can tell them all the lessons and morals you want, but at the end of the day, it's their choice and their decision as to whether they follow those morals. And they're not setting a very good example for her, because this just shows that you can manipulate or coerce someone into your point of view. And that's not a healthy way of doing things.
And I'm sure that it hurt having to break up with him, but OP probably ended up doing herself a favor because, you know, if this is really how he feels, it was going to come out someday, like after you get married, or maybe you have kids and he's going to want them to be ultra religious.
Yeah.
So
what's going to happen with their kids? What happens if they have daughters? Is he going to insist that they stay home? And what's that mean for you, OP? Are you going to have to stop working when you get married because he's like, oh, I thought you were aware that you were gonna be a stay-at-home mom? And there's nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home mom, but it needs to be something that you want to do. It's not something that you should be forced to do. You know, these should be all decisions that you are happy with and you make on your own and not forced or coerced into.
Yeah, so I mean, I think what OP did is really kind and compassionate. The rest of them just need to stop trying to manipulate people.
Yeah, exactly. Stop manipulating people. Anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I have a tea right here, and Amber has a joke.
What do you write in a Slug's Valentine Day card?
Oh, it's a Valentine's Day joke. Well, when I had a very good friend who was a slug, I gave them a Valentine card every year, and what I wrote in their Valentine Day card was, stay away from salt.
I mean, it's practical advice, but not very Valentine's.
It was in the shape of a heart. I just said, stay away from, I had a little heart around it, stay away from salt, little buddy.
Be my Valen slime.
It was pretty good. And then they slimed their way into a heart shape, but they avoided the salt. And I have a mystery tea today. This one, oh, it doesn't have a little tag, so I couldn't actually pull it off, is called Cinnamon Apple Spice, and as you can see, the green screen is eating it alive. And the ingredients are cinnamon, hibiscus, chamomile, roasted chicory, natural cinnamon and apple flavors with other natural flavors, orange peel, and roasted carob. You know, as teas go, I feel like I deserve this tea, especially after yesterday. It's a pleasant tea. It has a very light flavor to it. It's sweet. It's appley. It's cinnamony. If you wanted fall in a cup, this is fall in a cup. Unfortunately, it's February, which is not fall. But it's still a nice warm tea. It's good. It really is. It complements well. None of the flavors are overpowering. None of them are overwhelming. And it's just nice. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Happy Wednesday? What day? Tuesday. Happy Tuesday.
And
I do know what day of the week it is, I promise. I don't know what day of the week it is.
happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. I hope you're all having a wonderful, love-filled holiday. Amber, speaking of love-filled holidays, what's the moral of our story today?
I'm gonna go with story 2. I think the moral is party princesses are awesome. If you can be a party princess, be a party princess. It sounds really rad.
I agree. My moral of today's story is, please, for goodness sake, do not date your daughter's ex.
Yeah.
Please. Pretty please. With sugar on top, don't do it. I'm begging you, all out there, don't do it. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Bye.